In propaganda, fake stream media, clown world, it goes something like this. Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
In the real world, you kind of have to pull the trigger. Also in propaganda, fake stream media, clown world, actors aren't acting. All right, that wasn't believable enough. Who forgot to cue the music? Somebody bring Alec in here. Alec, come here. Show him how to do a proper cry scene, for crying out loud. And the part about Alec Baldwin, unscripted, the news-making special event.
Alec Baldwin, unscripted, the news-making special event.
Yep, you guessed it. Scripted. Welcome back to High Impact Flicks. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give this thing a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. And remember one other vital component about Clown World.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
And inanimate object violence. Do not adjust your screen. I am standing here in the dark with my survival flashlight. So if the power grid goes down or just the electricity goes out for a while during that thunderstorm, you have plenty of lumens to light your way. And with multi-flashing modes, including emergency lights, not to mention an emergency hammer and a seatbelt cutter, it's got everything a survival flashlight should have. That was corny. Don't put that in there. It's powered by the sun. It's got a cool little compass. This thing even has a frickin' lighter. And if your battery's low on your cell phone, this baby will charge it up. The link for your survival flashlight is in the description below.
We have this from ABC trying to convince us that anti-gunner Alec Baldwin is innocent. Before I play this, let me just say, what is the only way you can launch a projectile from a gun? What is the only way? Can it do it? Can a projectile be launched from a gun? Can a bullet be, shot through the chamber with a gun just sitting on a shelf or sitting in a safe or in some safe place somewhere? Will it go off just by you holding it in your hand? Will a gun fire itself if you drop it on the ground? What is the one mechanism by which you can launch that missile out of that weapon? What's the only way? Listen to what answer that question and then listen to what Alec Baldwin says in this minute and 50-second advertisement propaganda campaign for Alec Baldwin.
She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired. I mean, even now, I find it hard to believe that. It just doesn't seem real to me.
You haven't said much in public since that tragic accident. Why speak out now?
Listen to the music. It's just the right chords to evoke emotion. Bring people down on that emotional level. Get them off of the platform of logic and reason. Bring them down into emotion. Have them feel sorry for Alec Baldwin. This guy's an actor. Stephanopoulos is an actor. They're teleprompter reading corporate representatives. They're not there for you. They're not there to distribute truth. And most of the people, frankly, who tune into them aren't looking for the truth. They want to be lied to again. They want to deify that error, like Gustave Le Bon said.
I think the big question, and the one you must have asked yourself 1,000 times, how could this have happened?
Well, typically in the real world, how this could have happened is somebody handed me a gun that I didn't inspect. I put my finger on the trigger, which I shouldn't have done. I didn't clear the chamber to make sure everything was okay and make sure that it was truly a prop gun. I actually pointed it in the direction of somebody, which the Screen Actors Guild specifically says you're not supposed to do. That's how this can happen. To suggest that it happened any other way is just something I find extremely unbelievable.
You've described it as a 1 in a trillion shot.
One in a
The
trillion.
gun was in your hand. How do you come to terms with that?
A 1 in a trillion shot. I will agree with that because you're going to discover how he says it happened, or rather how it didn't happen. That's where I'll give them the 1 in a trillion.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger.
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never.
What did you think happened?
Did you hear that? Did you hear it? Does anybody buy that? Let me play that again.
And the gun was in your hand. How do you come to terms with that? It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger.
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never.
What did you think happened?
I didn't pull the trigger, says Alec Baldwin. I want to hear from everybody who, wherever this video goes, I want to hear from you. Does anybody believe that Alec Baldwin didn't pull the trigger? Did you point the gun? Was the gun in your hand? Was the gun given to you? Did you attempt to clear the chamber?
How did a real bullet get on that set?
I have no idea. Someone put a live bullet in a gun. A bullet that wasn't even supposed to be on the property.
How do you respond to actors like George Clooney who say that every time they were handed a gun, they checked it themselves? Your emotions are so clearly so right there on the surface. You felt shock. You felt anger. You felt sadness.
No, that's what you felt because he's an actor. Alec Baldwin is an actor, a fairly decent actor, actually. How do we know he's not acting right now? How do we know George Stephanopoulos is not acting right now for this ABC special, always broadcasting crap?
Do you feel guilt? You said you're not a victim, but is this the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Music stops.
Yeah. Because I think back and I think of what could I have done.
Alec Baldwin Unscripted, the newsmaking special event. Tomorrow night at 8/7 Central.
Why is he talking like that? Alec Baldwin Unscripted. If mainstream media tells me it's unscripted, just like if a politician told me, oh yeah, this is all unscripted, I automatically know it's the exact opposite. It's absolutely, it's highly scripted, highly edited, highly canned. This is corporate media trying to send you a message. They want you to believe a certain thing about this incident right here. What does it tell the masses who are not familiar with firearms? Oh my God, I could see people who are not educated, have never held or probably even seen a firearm in person, except, in the movies, which wouldn't be in person. But I can see how they would freak out and go, you mean to tell me he wasn't even touching the trigger and the gun went off and killed somebody and it was supposed to be like a prop gun with blanks in it and somebody still died? How much more dangerous is a real gun out in real life? It's like Senator Bill Nelson back in the, whenever that was after the park ... land incident, reported incident. He goes, guns are what is going to do the killing. They literally say that because I really think that they believe that, or that's the message they're trying to convey to the unthinking masses. The guns are what is going to do the killing.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
Scary black AR-15 assault style rifles that only deserve to be on the battlefields in foreign lands. Vilifying that inanimate object. So this right here sends the message loud and clear that for lemmings who are just going to they have zero brain cells to rub together. There's no, winter time's coming. You need those brain cells to keep warm. They need to stick together, but they don't have them. They're not in their head. So they'll listen to an Alec Baldwin and go, no. No, you got to understand right now. I did not pull the trigger. Didn't pull it.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
The trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger. What are his exact words?
Wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
Be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
The trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
Pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
The trigger wasn't pulled. Then how can a bullet be launched? The trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger. The trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger. And that's going to stay in the minds of the masses. This is propaganda. This is anti-rationality. This is anti-logic. This is anti-reality that they're trying to shove into you and pawn it off as, oh, watch tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Always Broadcasting Crap News because, hey, we're going to unearth this. We're going to ferret out the truth and we're going to deliver it to you right to your living room. And people will believe it. And they'll be even more scared. And then what's the reaction going to be? This is the catalyst, a catalyst for the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem. They wait for the fear-based reaction. The fear-based reaction by the masses is, he didn't even pull the trigger and it still happened. And it was supposed to be a Hollywood prop gun. My neighbor doesn't need to have all those firearms. My God, our lives are in jeopardy every single day as long as those guns are in my neighbor's house. We got to plead with our political parasites and overlords to make some policies to make it illegal for them to have those. So that if they do make those policies and hammer that thing out and with the legislative pixie dust of the make it into a law, then my neighbor can be criminalized and prosecuted and I can be nice and safe. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't inhale. I know the cocaine was sitting there and there's powder on my nose, but I'm telling you, I did not snort it.
While we have time and it still retains some of its perceived value, maybe it'd be a good idea to convert your worthless fiat into valuable, storable food. Don't be the one who waits till the food riots start happening. You don't want to be fighting panicking people in the store over that last jar of peanut butter. At Prepare with High Impact Flicks, you can get up to 3 air and watertight gasket-sealed ammo cans, each filled with a 4-week emergency supply. 7 food varieties, 2,000 calories a day, 284 servings, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each meal comes in a resealable, heavy-duty 4-layered pouch. And it's got a 25-year shelf life. Every order of a 4-week supply gets you $100 off plus free shipping. Here's how simple it is to make. I'm going to cook up some Granny's home-style potato soup. People are going to think I'm a culinary hero. You open the pouch, boil 4.5 cups of water, stir the contents, simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off the heat, then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it up.
Man, this stuff's so good. People are going to think Granny stopped by and filled your kitchen with a whole bunch of love.
Well, if Granny does stop by, she's going to fill your behind with a whole bunch of buckshot if you keep talking with your mouth full. Wipe your dang beard off. It's embarrassing. So maybe convert some of your worthless fiat into valuable food while you still can. Order now and get $100 off of up to 3 4-week emergency food supplies at preparewithhighimpactflix.com. The link is in the description.